SoccerChronicle.com informa Los Cachirules, el podcast con más garra, pasión y picardía que hasta el equipo de todos. Y ahora con ustedes, Albert en Chichis Campa.
And we are here, episode 15. This Albert Campa, passing it over to Dan to host the show. Take it away.
Hi, thanks, Beto. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on episode 15 of Los Cachirules, a tasteful, classy podcast covering Mexican soccer. As Beto stated, I am your host, Daniel Preciado. Today, joining us is Joel from deep in the hood of LA. Hello, Joel.
Hi. Hello, greetings.
How's it going? Any? I don't hear any ghetto birds. Is it a quiet night in LA?
Yes, it's getting gentrified.
Wonderful. Wonderful to hear. John joining us from, I'm not sure if he's on the road or from home, but John Jagu, how's it going? All right, he's on mute. He may not be able to say hello. But we have John Jagu also joining us.
Sorry about that. I was muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm in Houston. Get ready to do the Texas High School Championship for football, and hope everything is well out there in Escondido.
Yes, the fire is alive and well right now.
Glad to hear it. Is it a chilly 62?
Today, I've been scraping my windshield every morning.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that? The last two mornings, I mean, I've been scraping my windshield from frost.
Y'all should collect it so you can use it for water.
Yeah, there you go, see? That's what we need. We need forward thinkers like you. Righty. Moving along the line, also joining us from Texas is Beto. Good evening. How's it going?
How's it going? Good to be here with you guys.
Awesome. And finally, our favorite villain, Ronnie. Should I say your last name, or should I just keep it as Ronnie Chonchon, or what was it? Hijo pródigo de...
El hijo pródigo de Big Soccer Titlán.
That's a mouthful for me, bro.
No, how are you guys doing? Everything's fine. Salt levels are low. Everything's fine.
Return back to normal despite
yeah.
Level from Japan, right?
Well, yeah. Club America defeated that really tough Congolese team today.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. So yeah, just to give everyone a quick view as to what's going to be covered today. We're going to be going over the Liga MX final, as well as America's participation, as best we can call it, in the Club World Cup, as well as discussing some of the Mexicans playing abroad. So starting off, would you guys want to start with the Liga MX final or the America final? The America World Cup, I'm sorry.
We can start with America. I mean, pretty much it's over. You know, they honestly, I've never. You know, you guys knew that I was pissed with the Pumas game, because I honestly felt that, you know, the better team did not advance. With the way America played, you know, in the World Cup final, it's just it really pissed me off, and because of just how they after they scored the first goal, it's like they just completely shut down. And I mean, I haven't seen America play that bad in a while. I mean, they couldn't even string up two passes. And I think, you know, Nacho Ambriz should take some of the responsibility here, because his substitutions came in very late. But one of the things that really irritates me, and I've said it before, and I've said it, you know, many times to you guys, is one of the things that, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Arroyo. I'm not a big fan of Darwin Quinteros. I'm not a big fan, and even to a degree, of Oribe Peralta. because they're just too inconsistent, like extremely too inconsistent. And one of the things that bothers me, you know, and it happens throughout the entire season, is that America, okay, they'll score a goal, they'll have a two goal lead or a goal lead, and they're clearly in the driver's side. They're playing well, but it's like they start getting too selfish, and they start getting careless. And that to me is what happened after the first goal. Is they started getting careless. There were chances where they could have, you know, gone the second goal or even the third goal, but they were just being too selfish and too stupid in the box, and they weren't passing to the right people. I think you felt that frustration at the end when when what's his name, Darwin headbutted what's his name, Sambu. I don't know, man. I think that the locker room may be broken. You know.
Do you think, Ronnie, that part of this may lead back to that fight that they had internally, and it's kind of just finally showing itself on the field, or?
I think so. I really think so. I honestly think that they need a clean house. I mean, because you think about it, and this is so rare in Mexican football, where a team is so successful given the amount of manager changes. And I know John and I think we talked about this a while back. It's like this rarely happens where a team can win, and they're like, they're always in contention for the title with the manager changes, different manager changes. And I don't think that that's going to work out in the long run, and I think Belais should realize that. And I mean, because you have players that were basically Piojo's people, people. You had people that were with Turco, that were with the Matosos and stuff like that. I think Ambriz should start. And I'm not calling for Ambriz's head, believe it or not. I think he is inexperienced, but not enough to the point where we should just get rid of him and go with another guy, a high price guy. Because keep in mind, in the beginning of the year, they were playing some really good football. I mean, I think they were like 6 or 7 games without losing or something like that. So,
well, I would say even in the semifinal they played well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think he's inexperienced in playoffs, and I think that Belais should let him build his team, because you still have people from the Matosas, from the Turco era. And
well, it seems to me that America is very top heavy, where they have a bunch of guys that kind of fulfill the same role, and then they don't have enough glue guys to kind of keep a team together. They don't have that that veteran midfielder to come in and just calm things down. They certainly don't have a defender that can do that. I mean, their defenders are not particularly good.
You're absolutely right, because
but they have a ton of wingers.
Yeah,
what is that?
You're absolutely right. I mean, you don't have a guy that's going to go in there and basically like even like Ludueña, he would go in there and he would try to take control or slow the tempo in their favor, in his team's favor. And it just seems like when America will put in their substitutions, it's like those guys were just playing for themselves as opposed for the team. You had, obviously, America already signed one last week, the guy from Querétaro, and apparently I heard that they signed another one today. Lozano, I think, a Uruguayan.
Yeah.
I've been hearing though that Nacho's going to be fired and that Pelaez's position is up in the air. Is that just
I thought
talking?
He was gonna stay.
But that would be so stupid though. Give the guy, let him see what he can do. Like you said, he doesn't have his own players. Obviously, in my opinion, Nacho is a guy that is not as, he's more of a defensive guy. I think it's just in the style of that he was as a player. And I just don't think that the team that he has fits with what he wants to do. So and Pelaez, I think Pelaez is a great general manager. It's not, I'm sorry, but it's not his fault that the team fell apart in the last 10 minutes.
No, it's not. It's not his fault. And one of the things, and one of the reasons why I want Ambriz to stay in there is not that so much that he's defensive, but I think given his history, his experience as a player and the position that he played, and also his coaching experiences. I think he's more of a guy that wants more balance. And I mean, I don't want to get ahead and talk about the final, but one of the things that American, you saw two extremes in the final. You saw a team like America who, by force, had to throw everything up front and had to be offensive, and basically it cost them. And then you would also see the other extreme where teams are too defensive, like Pumas. When they were because I mean, you think about it, there was in two consecutive series you had teams that won a leg 3-0, and then on the return leg they basically almost lose. And that has to do with you're going in there with a mindset that you have to defend, and you're trying to hold on to a 3-0 lead. And I just don't think that. I think American needs to find a balance between attacking and defending. Because there's no point. When you have players like Arroyo and Darwin and Oribe, and you're just trying to throw players, up front.
Well,
I
I understand the need for continuity, and there is a lot to that. I do think that constantly firing someone and replacing them with somebody else is probably counterproductive in the long run. But I guess I personally was really unimpressed with what Nacho did with the team. Yes, they played well, but ultimately they failed on some level from winning the league, and the way they did it, which was kind of alarming. The fact that the issues that you think a coach that has control of his team would not have, he's having, like disciplinary issues, fights within the team. And then you go to represent the entire area, the country, and the league, and then you go and embarrass yourselves and lose to a team that, at least on paper,
I couldn't even show my face in Austin. I had to walk around with a bag over my head because I was so embarrassed.
And you're not even an America fan. But I'm just saying, like, I know it's probably not that big a deal, but I mean, I personally think it's kind of embarrassing to go all the way over there, and everyone's kind of licking their chops at the chance of playing Barcelona, and then you lose to this Chinese team.
And then Barcelona even stated that, or Jordi Alba stated that he was waiting for America. Sort of messed up.
Man, I got a question. What are the ratings going to be for the Chinese team and Barcelona? There's going to be 300 million people watching that game easily.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, it is. I mean, they're huge La Liga fans over there. But the thing, keep in mind, my folks were living in China 10 years ago. Like, when you would walk into like the equivalent of a Foot Locker over there, everything. I mean, all you saw was just like Inter Milan, AC Milan, Manchester, Real Madrid, Barcelona.
And Veracruz, right?
Yeah, Veracruz. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be huge falling.
Euro fanboys.
They're so the Centuries, with their Boca and River Plate jerseys,
It was funny on Jorge Ramos y su banda today. I believe there was some guy calling up and said, "I don't know why you guys keep on talking about Mexican League and about America. It's good that you guys need to talk about more Argentina and River Plate and all this stuff." And they said, "Well, we are talking about all these other teams." And he was like, I'm glad you're talking about Argentina. I'm from Peru." He was from Peru.
He was they were clowning, I believe. What is it? The Argentino Pereira, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
He was clowning on the Polanco guy, who I believe is, I'm not sure. I think he's Central American. But
He's Salvadorian, I believe.
Salvador. Okay, they started clowning him, or actually not him, but one of the journalists that they had on board, and they were kind of making a similar claim, complaining about the coverage of America, whose teams consist. He didn't actually say Mexico, but alluded to the fact that all these teams from the same area go there and embarrass themselves year in and year out. Where the Argentinian guy goes, "Whoa, wait a minute." He's like, "Here you're blowing, you're here lifting up the what Saprissa did. You're not even from that country, so now you get to claim everybody, every country from Central America. He's like, you're Honduran. You're not even Costa Rican. You shouldn't get to claim that. He's like, you why don't you at least get to that point and then get embarrassed and then maybe you could talk, which I thought was pretty amusing.
Yeah, so I saw a thing on Twitter to win a Chicharito Leverkusen jersey. I'm like, I like Chicharito and all, but I don't really want a Leverkusen jersey. I mean, I'll take a Mexican League jersey over any European stuff.
It's ugly.
I would wear it, but I mean, but it's not like I would continue to buy the jersey after. So I have a Rafa Marquez jersey and I have a Carlos Vela Arsenal jersey. After that Arsenal debacle, that's when I stopped buying jerseys and made sure until I waited till they actually cemented their spot on the team.
I treasure my Neri Castillo Shakhtar Donetsk jersey. It's one of my valued possessions.
Does anybody have a Gio at Tottenham?
Nope.
No. Man.
I don't have any player jerseys actually.
So what's going to happen to America? Are they going to?
You know what?
Are they going to be okay?
You know what? Going by what Ronnie was saying about Ambriz getting his own players, I don't think that will happen. I think he'll have some input, but I think Pelaez builds the team. I feel that was one of the reasons Matosas left was because they didn't want to get the players he was requesting.
Do you think they should keep Nacho?
That doesn't make any sense.
What?
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I know you have a budget and this and that, but I mean, geez, I mean, you are the top team. No offense to Chivas, but I mean, it's a team that has, what I would consider an unlimited budget. I mean, geez, if the guy's asking you for players, go get him players.
Yeah, but see, they do that in other teams too. Like they'll do it in Madrid, Barcelona. They'll do the same thing. The coach usually they don't, like Ancelotti never requested the Colombian guy. What's his name? James. Or Chicharito.
You knew that even in the World Cup in Brazil. I mean, I remember I said, how long is it going to take for Real Madrid to sign this guy? I mean, it was that one was academic. They could not sign him. They had to sign him. It's who they are. Whatever the flavor of the month is internationally, they're gonna, they'll be all over it, and they'll spend ridiculous amounts of money. But that's what America should do.
Like getting that dude Lozano.
I mean,
wait, aren't they getting a top Uruguayan player?
Yeah, Brian.
And Jimmy's going to be with America. That is awesome. He's one of my favorite players. Are we talking about a different Lozano?
Brian Lozano.
Not Jaime? Too bad.
He's from Defensores. There's a rumor that Quintero's going to be gone. Ronnie over there. But that's just a rumor.
Is it Brian or Brian?
Oh, Brian. It's Brian.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think America will be fine. Pelaez is doing a really good job.
Yeah, he is.
I agree with Ambriz staying too. I think give him a chance. He did better than I thought. I thought he was bomb.
I think they should keep him, but I think he kind of failed when you look at the whole thing and the team that he was given. Granted, maybe not be his total choice of the team, but it's still an incredibly good team.
But hey, I will say this, and this is why I want him there. It's not his team to begin with, meaning he didn't build his team. But I mean, if I were to go back at Turco's first season and Matosas' first season and even Piojo's first season, I think he's probably had the better season out of all of them. And honestly, if you think about it, dude, and I understand the criticism of having 4 people sent off, in the semifinals. But even then, dude, his team was playing well. You know, even when they were down, oh man, his team was the team was functioning. I mean, keep in mind, granted, that's not the purpose of the game. I mean, you're supposed to score, and that's a different topic. But his teams were still functioning, and I think there's too many quote unquote stars on that team. Where I think and I keep going back to this because I just don't like them. I just think they're more of a cancer. I think they're the Arroyos, the Darwins, and stuff like that. I just they just don't convince me, man. I think America should be getting honestly players from how many foreigners is there now? I think they had 7.
I just wanted to touch on something before I forget, though. As far as Ambriz goes, I know you brought it up. I've heard you bring it up a couple of times that when they first went down, that they continued to play well. Do you really think that was a smart decision, though, continuing to attack after you've gone down, man? After you've gone down 1-0?
No, after the first one, yes. After the first one, yes. When it was the second one, no. At that point, it's Ambriz's fault. Not and that's where he was inexperienced, in the playoffs. But I think that's what it cost him. I don't, like I said, I just
definitely I would hope that some of these mistakes and some of the mistakes, some of the issues that they're having internally and disciplinary issues as far as on the field, that would be the one area of concern for me, because obviously the functioning of the team seems to be really good. I mean, they play really well.
Yes, the performing, I have no quarrels with that, but also keep in mind that those type of beefs with players and stuff like that. As far as I can remember with America, you've always had those type of players. You've always had those players that always, like the Sambus. Like, if you can go back, I don't know if you guys remember Antonio Carlos, Antonio Carlos, Carlos Antonio Santos. Hugo. I forget his name. Hugo Sanchez's stepdad, the one that died. I mean, you always had those controversial type players, Cuauhtemoc Blanco. So I mean, that doesn't really bother me about
Ronnie,
yeah.
would you prefer if America players were as friendly as the Tigres?
No.
Team unity.
They might have got to the final if they were.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, moving on. I guess we could start off and discuss the crazy final that I missed. So I'm assuming John and Beto, you guys got to be pretty happy, or at least proud of your team's performance and how they made a game of it.
Yeah, good Lord. Sorry about that. Excuse me. No. I was, obviously, you don't want to see your team get run off the pitch, and, like the way they battled back. But, it hurts that they lost. You go through all that trouble to get to where you have a chance to win, and then, they sent the wrong dudes to take the penalty kicks. And it's like, would you guys even pay attention to your team? But, it was a great game. There's no question. And it was really funny because I was watching the game. I was a long day, and I was like just kind of half awake, watching it with one eye open. In the first half, especially, I was debating, do I really want to watch this, or is it going to be? And then they got that one goal, and then it just went, bananas. It was bananas after that. Second half and then extra time, but it was a great game, and it goes back to what Ronnie was saying about teams, and and this is something that Tuca seems to have had a problem with. In his last 3 finals, in the second legs, he's given up 3 goals in each of them. 3 at the Azteca, 3 at the Monumental, and then 3 at Seul. So for Mr. Conservative, which is really kind of surprising. But I got to hand it to Tigres, man. They at the end they pulled through and they got it, and they got the the 4th goal with Gignac. They're just a great team. And it was funny because once they realized that they needed to score and play better in extra time, obviously they were a man up. They played great. I thought they were going to score 2 or 3 goals and probably should have scored a couple of goals. But then they backed off again. Pumas got Pumas got the equalizer, which has totally cracked me up. But it was, obviously it was a really entertaining final. I'm starting to think, and I don't know if maybe just playing one game is the way to go in something like this. But then again, I like the fact that there's a second leg because there's so many things that can happen, and I'm just happy that Pumas showed up and played the way that they're supposed to, and the way that they played all season. So I did enjoy that. But it was a great game. For me, anyway.
No, it was a great game. I was actually thinking about this. Going back to Duca's giving up 3 goals in the finals and stuff like that, and it's not just Duca, but it just seems like teams. Sometimes they have a tendency of wanting to play for the result and not go for the win, and I think that's the wrong mindset. And honestly, I was thinking about this, giving a thought of obviously we've done, the away goals, we've done, to try to give the team an advantage, basically, one of the I guess the arguments is for the away goal is to ensure that, the team doesn't bunker because, you want the team that positioned better at the season to basically go in and play the home game, the return game.
Right.
And I was thinking maybe what they should do for a tiebreaker, aside from the points and goal differential, maybe the next one should be possession. What do you guys think about that?
Nah, because that reminds me of in high school here in Texas when they had tie games in the playoffs. They went to penetrations and how many first downs. It's like. But then you start playing for possession.
What's that?
I mean, then you start playing for possession. I mean, to me, the tiebreaker should be what it is, which is penalty kick.
Well,
but it's interesting that you said that though, as far as the. I was thinking back at when I can't remember if it was Barcelona or Bayern or whichever team it was. I think it was Bayern that just spanked the crap out of Barcelona a couple of years ago in the first leg of the semifinals, 3 or 4-0. And then in the second leg, you wonder, well, what are they going to do? And then they just played their same style. Obviously, they didn't take as many risks, but they didn't go into a defensive shell and put another 3 or 4 on them on top of that.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's what's lacking. I think that guys just get too, they turtle up a little too much. The coaches, when they have a bigger lead, it seems like, I mean, I thought Pumas against America just went totally against what they did all season, and I think we saw that to a certain degree with Tigres because Tigres did not play like that the entire season. I mean, Tigres was a much more dynamic team, and all of a sudden you're asking them to play something entirely different.
Well, it was desperation mode also, and this happens in every game that it gets close to the end of the game. For Pumas, they scored the first goal, and then they scored a second. There was some hope there, so they started playing hard. They were desperate because they saw light at the end of the tunnel, and then Tigres sort of stepped back a little bit, but it was Pumas putting the initiative, trying to get that third goal, and they put Tigres on their heels. So credit to the Pumas team for doing that, but it just didn't work out in the end. So I think it was not just Tuca's mistake, which I think it was a mistake on his side, but I think it was also the pressure and the intensity that Pumas raised to be able to go on the attack there.
Well, the worst thing you can do in a situation like that is to give, a desperate team a little bit of hope, whether you're defensive or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden they start building confidence and they have momentum, and then it's like then you can't stop it. But to me, the biggest play of the game was the play where Herrera got red carded, but that's not why it's big. I mean, if I'm not sure what the Ecuadorian Neymar was trying to do on that play. I know he almost scored, but if he would have just put a foot on it and just gone the other way, I mean, that was an easy goal. But instead, he decided to do this crazy, I'm going to throw myself at the ball and then and try and head it, going the other way. And if he puts that in, I mean, that's 4-3, game over. It's done.
Oh, was that the attempt where he headed it in, sort of diving?
Yeah, and the guy barely.
He barely
the goalie barely got his hand on it, and that's the play where Herrera got red carded, which a tough red, but it was the correct call. I mean, there was no question. I mean, he didn't get the ball. He got all of Pollo's shin or whatever it was, his calf muscle. I mean, I understood what he was trying to do. He was trying to block the ball under the net, and I get that. But he paid the consequences for the play that he made, and he got a red card, and it should have been. But if he then scores that goal, I mean, that would have. I mean, the consequences of that goal would have been massive, not just in the game, but just beyond the game too.
Now, changing a little. I mean, still on the Liga MX final, but not so much about talking about the game now. But obviously, a lot of people, based on social media, really were talking highly of the match. Do you guys think it was better or on par with the final with America Cruz Azul? And the dynamics, Moy coming in there, Munoz, basically in the dying minutes, send it to overtime and stuff like that. Do you think this one was better than the one from Cruz Azul America a couple years ago?
I think it's on par. I don't know. I mean, I think it's hard to I think that they each stand on their own merit. I don't necessarily think one was better than the other. Obviously, the story's better than the other one because of
the goalkeeper.
Of the goalkeeper and Cruz Azul being so close again. And,
like Cruz Azul, that's my exact feelings on that one. No, but
it's funny though because people say, well, Pumas la Cruz Azul. When did Pumas ever have the lead in that? They never had it. So,
yeah,
but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah,
what would you have been saying though had Tigres lost?
No, that would have been
a colossal failure.
Yeah. I wouldn't have shown up to this I wouldn't have shown up to this podcast if Pumas would have won. I don't think I could take Beto and John.
That would have been glorious, but
no, just kidding.
I do sort of see Tigres as like the justified champion. I mean, they played better, even though they sort of failed in the second leg, but they played better throughout the whole series. So they deserve that. And to be truthful, I would have felt sort of not embarrassed.
Dirty. You would have felt dirty.
Yeah, I guess so. That might be too strong of a word, but yeah, it would have been a little bit weird for Pumas to win that. The way they played the first leg.
Did you feel like that little kid crying? Que no sirve para nada.
I didn't feel that. I mean, honestly, that's the thing about the short seasons is that, okay, we lost this one. Guess what? There's another one in 2 weeks, so let's, we can do it all over again.
But it did feel kind of like you were playing with house money, though.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And truthfully, I wasn't even expecting Pumas to be super leader and even do as well as they did this whole season. But they did pretty good. The stats showed that they've played real well. Even according to Martin and his stats, Picolín is like one of the top goalkeepers out there. So
greatest goalkeeper in the world.
Awesome. Isn't he out now? Didn't Pumas get rid of him?
No, they got rid of his brother.
But
there's another one.
Yeah, there was Palacio. Okay.
They're going to say that there's a third Picolín. He's like their crazy half brother.
Jeez.
The evil twin that's going to show up, like on the soap operas.
I read that the final on Unimas, whatever, between Pumas and Tigres, outperformed any league, any club. It was the high, the most rated, regardless of language. Most viewed club soccer match since like 2013, be it EPL, Bundesliga, Champions League, any, MLS, yeah.
Or NBA.
Dude, the MLS Cup rating was a 0.5.
0.5?
Yeah.
And this one was what, a 2 point something?
Was it that low? I figured it'd be like a 4 or 5.
I mean, this was the highest rating since 2013 club, and it beat out, NBA, it beat out, a lot of things. So,
that's why I've always insisted that the Liga MX is the fourth most popular sports league in this country.
Yeah, I especially in certain areas, yeah.
I mean, the ratings prove it. They get better ratings than hockey for sure.
Yeah.
And MLS, I mean, I hate to say it for MLS, but it's not even it's like the third most popular league soccer league in this country.
Yeah.
And a lot of what MLS is getting is because Univision is trying to shove it down our throats.
Well, it's not so much that they're trying to. It's just that they lost. They lost, the World Cup. So I mean, they have to make up. Their programming with other things. So it's not like they're intentionally trying to shove, MLS and down our throats. It's that.
I do think that there's a perception out there, though. I think globally that it is, whether or not they see the quality or the lack thereof. I think most people do view it as an emerging league.
Oh, no doubt about it. No,
Leftovers. You're saying they're the leftovers.
Well, I mean, and I'm not one. Like I've watched it. I don't watch it. I don't think it's very good, and I don't think it's very entertaining. And I think most people that if you do watch it from a neutral perspective, it's not very good.
I think subjectively, objectively, it's a good league. But I think in matter of taste, I mean, going back to what Juan Manuel Lilo said about the Liga MX being the best in the world in terms of style, I think that we're just.
Well, I guess that's what I meant. I guess it's good because the types of goals that I see when I turn into the typical MLS match is more products of errors as opposed to products of
creating your goals.
Yes.
And and I think that's why. I mean, for me, I can tune in. I can watch the Argentine league, and I may not know anybody on the field, and I'll still watch it because it's entertaining. It's not because I'm trying to follow a team or a player or something like that. It's just the product on the field speaks for itself. Same thing with La Liga. Same thing with Liga MX. Now, there were for years I couldn't I didn't really like watching the Bundesliga. I thought it was boring. For years I thought the Serie A was boring, and I still think to a degree it's still a boring league to watch. I think that's what what you were talking about is that the Liga MX, I think for me, the product on the field, and I'm not saying it's the best in terms of the best players in the world. I'm thinking that as far as the product on the field itself is the best, is among the best.
And I do think that I would actually think that the ratings would actually even be a little bit higher if the league was presented in a more English-friendly manner.
Yeah.
For those, I do think, because it mean the entertainment value. I mean it may not be as high. I'm sorry. From an entertainment value, I think very few touch it. Just with the things that go along, some of the
Dan, I think you say that because you're familiar with the league.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
It's easier to relate and to
Landon
know.
Donovan had a chance to play Copa America, and I'm sorry, Joel, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
He had a chance to play Copa America, and I think he should have taken it. And I think it would have been fantastic for him, and it would have been fantastic for the league. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out. I think that was a bad mistake on both parts.
Well, one of the things that kind of that I pay attention to, Jurgen Klinsmann, he watches the Liga MX a lot. I mean, and he keeps track, he keeps tabs on the U.S. players that are playing the Liga MX. I mean, when Xolos had that pretty good run in Copa Libertadores. I mean, even a coach like that values what the Liga MX can do in terms of, providing an environment for players to play a more sophisticated, complex game, and still entertaining, because I mean, it's not just vertical where it's long ball, it's not that type of ball. I mean, you do have to have, you do have to think. It's not going to be fast, like in the EPL, but you have to think. And you have coaches. I mean, you have coaches from different styles. You have Lapuentistas, you have Labortistas, you have Trellistas, you have a bunch of them. You have a lot of different schools.
The school of Bruce Arenas.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't I believe Bradley wasn't he complaining that there's a bit of a he's having, I guess, or has had trouble finding gigs in Europe, I guess, because it's hard to find for them to get chances over there. I'm not sure if you guys have heard anything similar to that.
No, I did. He's coaching what second division somewhere.
I believe it was in
Norway, or it's one of the Scandinavian countries.
Yeah. I was gonna say Denmark, but you might be right.
I just hear nothing but good things about him.
Who's that?
Around Bob Bradley.
Oh, I think Bob Bradley would be a great Liga MX coach.
The one that I wanted to see in Liga MX was Sampson. He knew the language, and he's the last coach for the U.S. soccer that actually tried to do something different, as opposed to, playing the percentages. Just
talk about your team falling apart.
Well, it did.
The coach when they had when all the John
exactly. Right. But and I understand that, but I still don't think that they had the player pool and the depth that they do now. But I have to even when Ronaldo said it after the Brazil, that he doesn't see progress from 94 or 98. They're still playing the cat and mouse game, defensive, bunkering. And honestly, in my opinion, I think the coach, the last U.S. coach that actually tried to do something different and play outside their comfort zone was Steve Sampson.
You're probably. I mean, I'm trying to remember.
And I know they failed.
But you're probably right.
I know they failed. I mean, I'm not denying that. I know that, obviously Steve Sampson going 3 and out and being last place in France '98, and then in 2002 you have Bruce Arena going quarterfinals and stuff like that, and being your arch rivals. Obviously, to the U.S. fan, screw Steve Sampson. We like Arena, but in terms of trying to change the mentality and trying to do something different, I kind of have to. I in a way, I respect Steve Sampson for doing something a little different.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if that doesn't happen with the the players messing around with each other's wives, then chances are pretty good that they have a better World Cup. And I mean, after that,
yeah,
because he cut the captain 2 weeks before the tournament started. I mean, that was. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you give some background? I actually don't know.
So right before the '98 World Cup, John Hart had been the captain for like 7 or 8 years. He was the team. He was a good player. He had played in England for.
He was the eternal captain. He called him the eternal captain.
He was a
captain
great player.
For life, right?
And,
captain for life.
And all of a sudden he gets cut off. He gets removed from the team. There's no explanation, and it's not until like 4 or 5 years ago that when all the spills the beans said yes, because he had an affair with my wife, and while we were.
Oh wow.
Yeah, well, it came out when that whole John Terry thing came out.
Mm-hmm.
John Terry, that whole affair came out before the World Cup in South Africa, right? Or
right.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the reason why the team fell apart, is because they had to deal with that. So, I mean, I don't think you can really blame, a coach for.
But also they were in a pretty tough group. If I recall, weren't they against Germany and Yugoslavia?
Yeah.
And Iran.
I mean, but even Iran, those other two teams were stacked.
Man, Iran is so underrated. They just don't have luck. I mean, they have decent teams. They just get thrown in these really, really.
I remember for that game they called the U.S. the Great Satan.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty cool name, though. They should have embraced it, dude. Just wear red.
Everybody grows thin mustaches. Very cool. Alrighty, so I guess we've covered the final deviate a little bit. Wanted to talk about briefly some of the Liga MX transfers. Anything noteworthy that anybody wants to mention or talk about? I know some of it's already been covered.
Actually, I wanted to ask Joel, Angel Reina.
Oh,
Are they gonna try to salvage him or no?
that's you guys, dude. Sending us your players. Yes. What did we ever do to you, man?
That's a shame because he is so talented. He is so talented.
No, nobody wants him, man.
He's rumored to go to Toluca.
They tried sending him to Coras Tepic, which belongs to Higuera, and they said that that's the rumors that the players at Coras were like, don't get him. So he has pretty bad reputation as party guy.
I'm seeing he's close to going to.
I don't think. I don't
Either
know,
needs to
man.
go up with Piojo or go with Tucan.
You know what, guys? I think wherever he goes, I think he's taking a massive pay cut. I don't think anyone is gonna want to pay him like what he's earning right now.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't gone to Veracruz because I mean, one thing Reynoso used to love him in America. I mean, at one point he even referred to him as his son. It's como he's like a son. He's like a son to me. So I'm surprised. That he hasn't gone to like Veracruz.
So is it just partying, or is it also issues on the field where he tends not to get along with folks?
Well, I think obviously, the comment that he made, when America lost and he basically started, talking crap about, his own teammates. Like he's saying that, what's that comment that he made about Mosquera being, he had a
Capitán de Agua.
Yeah, Capitán de Agua or something like that. The defensa de chocolate or something like that. I don't know. Well, he said something like that. Come on, guys. I'm trying to keep it professional here.
Not as bad as Simio. I prefer chocolate.
Yeah, okay. Well, he did say that. He did say that. Anyhow, so, obviously with that, and then lost my train of thought here, man.
It happens. It
happens. So all right. So you had that. And then obviously, there was a rumor that he actually he pulled a gun or in the Guapas parking lot over there in America's training ground. So obviously he has baggage, but damn, he's just he's a talented player.
Well, then he sounds like he's perfect for Cholos. You know what he needs? He needs the Leon Krause to do an interview with him.
Oh, yeah. Make him crying, Gary Chandler style.
That's right. He can start crying like Chicharito did. Hey man, laugh it up. Chicharito scored 15 goals in that interview?
I think he's 17. No, isn't he at 17 now?
I got a hate comment for that though later on when we get to that. But on the transfers, I'm showing Rafa Marquez going back to Atlas, Herrera tal vez to Chivas, Guerrón Cruz Azul.
Who's going to Chivas?
Don't forget Martin Bravo dos Santos.
Who's that?
Martin Bravo. I'm not exactly excited about that one.
Oh, he's at Pumas, right?
Or I guess was, but yeah.
I heard Pumas is cleaning house.
Yeah, they put 9 guys on the transfer.
Britos might go to Italy, I think. They're saying.
Now, obviously,
Chapol went to León.
And there's rumors about Guignac going to Inter Milan. How do you think he'll stay in Mexico?
Depends on how much money they offer.
I'm thinking they probably put a pretty high buyout clause. At least I would hope if you're a Tigres fan and if you want to see him stay. I personally would find it kind of sad to see him go just because it's he's bringing more attention to the league and he's really good. He's really, really good.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter they had there was 3 or 4 outlets from France covering the game, and from their big newspapers Le Monde and keep. So it's obviously they're keeping tabs on them.
There's a radio show here in Austin called The Throw, and it's on one of the sports channels, and They're on Sundays at 9. You know, when everyone's listening to the radio. And I was on my way to get some breakfast tacos, and they were talking about I forget what it was, but that's some French dude. So I texted him and I said, "Hey, are you going to watch Gignac in the fun?" He goes, "I do not watch Liga MX. I know that he plays in the league, but it's not to me. I don't know." And he's a huge MLS fan. I'm sitting thinking, man, you're an idiot. I mean, come on, how could you not want to watch that? And I think that's the Liga MX's next step. They have to make it more attractive to a worldwide audience. I mean, they have to sell themselves. Like their website's terrible.
Yeah.
They don't have an English version of the website.
No. That's what I was gonna say. I know we kind of touched on it earlier too, but isn't the MLS shown in a bunch of different countries?
Yeah.
You could pay to have your stuff shown.
Yeah, exactly. They're
Hey, before hey John, in
Yo.
a French accent, can you say Ricky Bobby?
Ricky
You know what? Touching on what John's saying, that's what Mexico was doing when they turned to Liga MX, and they switched because it used to be Campeón de Invierno and Torneo de Verano, and I think they simplified it.
No, I get that, but their website is horrific. Their website is so complicated. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so hard to decide. If you just want to go watch a goal, you can't see goals. They just do a terrible job of marketing themselves.
Well, that's why we're here. We're going to be the premier Pocho podcast.
Believe me, I would love to approach them and say, hey, let us handle the English side of your website.
Yeah.
And they should have it in. I mean, so did Tigres by chance create a French version of their website?
I don't know. I don't think
Because
so.
I mean, that's one thing that didn't Leverkusen immediately spit out a Spanish version to cater to all the Mexicans that were going to be flooding their website?
I know they did a Twitter account.
Honestly, they have such a huge cash cow with the Mexicans in the U.S. that I don't think they even care.
They should though. It's just more
money.
money.
So limiting.
I know. But I'm
those
just saying that.
Mexicans their kids are gonna grow up and they're gonna go, Dad, why are you rooting for Guadalajara when, Team X is on TV? And it's much. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what are you talking about? That I don't want to go back to Mexico, like in the Tigres del Norte.
We use the Tigres del Norte all the time when we do our radio shows, or our Longhorn broadcast, because when you watch college football games, the quarterback always looks over to the sideline to see the guys giving signs, and it's always dudes wearing khakis and a really bright shirt, and they're doing synchronized moves with their hands. And we always say, man, it's like Tigres del Norte singing one of their hits.
So any other good transfers? I'm thinking.
Well, Julit Peña, el flamante de Chivas.
Oh yeah. Oh, hold on. I think there were rumors about that Lalo Herrera going to Chivas, or is that going to happen? Not going to happen?
They can have him.
They can have him. You think he's going to be a bust? You think he's going to be like a Landin?
I think he's okay. I don't think he's gonna be like a Landin. I think that was that's a different story. But I mean, he's okay, but he's not. He's just okay. He's just a guy. He's just a guy that. I mean, to me, he's like a lesser version of Cachirules.
What do you guys think of Ulises Davila? I mean, I know I've barely seen him play. Are they just kind of rolling the dice on this guy, or do you think they've actually been really scouting him to see if he could actually contribute?
Who, Herrera?
No, Santos. The way they brought in Davila, I'm just a little bit. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical as to what he has to bring.
I think it's a good move for Santos. I think they need a marketable guy. He's decent enough. He'll be fine for them.
Because he hasn't even played first division. I'm glad too. I don't think he's played first division football ever.
Yeah, I think he was in Portugal in a small team.
Was he?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Cruz Azul, I think they got Aldo Leal.
They got Guerrón from Tigres.
Is that already official?
I couldn't tell you. I've been up to my eyeballs in pixels and data, so I haven't been able to pay attention.
Who's Thomas Boy coaching?
Cruz Azul.
The one that's getting Leao.
Yeah, Thomas Boy.
And then Piojo's getting somebody. Forget.
Yeah, that was one I was wanted to ask about too. See if he's actually been able to bring in somebody that he's wanted. But I'm actually can't wait to go see him. I'm gonna definitely go try to catch him live.
You know, Piojo's the kind of coach where Angel Reina I think would do really well.
Well,
Oh yeah, Leao is going to Cruz Azul.
hold on. What's his name? I think Dorados went strong. They went for Alfredo Moreno. They went for Severo.
Mesa?
Yeah, Mesa.
Joe Corona?
Let me see.
Ocho.
Wait, how old is Alfredo Moreno?
He's
El
Didn't he play in Necaxa?
That dude's old.
yeah, America. Oh yeah.
He's like 40.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. He's probably close to 40.
Atlas got the Tigres champion, el Cacha Arevalo. Okay, Gerardo Lugo from Tigres. Now he's in Veracruz now.
Man, that guy wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for his dad.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? No, because I mean Victorino. I mean that Victorino had a bigger name in Cruz Azul, and that. I mean,
You know what I'm saying is that if his dad didn't play soccer, he would have never even gotten a sniff.
He had a good
No.
season in Cruz Azul when Macarian was there.
Yeah, I guess.
Escúchame, hijo. ¿Te gustaría que regresáramos a vivir a México?
No way, Dad.
No way.
No way, Dad.
all right. El Paleta Sesqueda. He's also in Veracruz. Dude, what the hell happened to Paleta, man?
He is my
was.
pick to be the surprise of Russia 18.
You think so? El Paletas.
Yep.
Did you guys ever recall how he got that nickname?
No.
There we go.
Apparently, well, Temo Blanco's the one that gave him that name. He was cracking jokes at him, saying that if he didn't become a footballer, he'd be selling paletas on the street. So apparently, I think that's that. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I read, that paletas izquierdas. But dude, the guy, he's a talented player, man.
He's the second Mexican to have a hat trick in Libertadores.
Yeah.
He's doing good in Tigres.
And do you remember? I still watch this every night. I watch this
But
every
River
night.
played in the final, man.
I watch
in the
this.
next round.
Well, yeah, he was part of the team with Cabañas that was the Maracanazo, where they beat Fluminense, where they beat
Flamenco.
Flamengo 3-0, and then you have that player, that goalkeeper that eventually is in jail because he killed his wife, where he starts basically crying at the
Did
end.
he get a hat trick?
Yeah, well, no. Esqueda got one and Cabañas got two. El Gordinho. The Gordinho. But
Man, he was a great player, man.
and then I think it was in that edition where Paletas was criticized because he was grabbing his nuts, insulting. I think it wasn't. I have a picture of it. I have a picture of it. It's not on. I don't have it on my iPad, but I have it on my computer. Well, no.
High resolution, Ronnie.
No. Paleta. So yeah, but I still watch this clip every day. It's of Enrique Esqueda doing a túnel with Reynoso. It was in a final, or not in a final. It was I think it was a playoff match.
You watch it before going to bed?
Ah, yes, el clásico. No, but he's a good player, man. I can't believe it's just. I mean, he's gone from. I think he went from America. He went to Pachuca, and from Pachuca, I think to Tigres, and now he's going to Veracruz. El Topo, el Juan Carlos Topo is going to Atlas. He's going back home.
Hey, speaking of, what did happen to Landin? Where is that guy?
Last time I heard of him was
he's still doing the shopping in Houston.
Because I mean, I know Bofo is playing indoor.
I haven't heard about him in a long time. Maybe about a year ago, I read that El Santi Fernandez he went back to school, and I think he's trying to become like an agent. But as far as remember los tres chiflados? Who was it? Landin, Santiago Fernandez, and who was the other one?
It was Esqueda, wasn't it?
Esqueda? No.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Santiago Fernandez?
Was that?
Oh yeah, he mentioned him already.
You talking about the Haiti game where it was 5-0 and they still couldn't score?
Yeah, they needed like 5-1 or 6-1.
Landin is at Zacatepec.
Oh, yeah, I knew he was somewhere around there.
Okay, never mind. As of 2 hours, I'm reading here that Ángel Reynel ya is de Toluca.
Oh.
He's going on loan for 6 months. So
Julio Gomez is coming back too.
Is that La Momia?
Yeah, La Momia.
I think he's too short. I don't think I think
Velvet, I think was really good too.
But then he started having women problems.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was his downfall. Women.
It's the same as
what woman can resist a dude who's 4'8"? I mean, seriously.
That dude has some good ball control. The best I've ever seen.
What happened to that kid from Cruz Azul? He was supposed to be a wonder kid. No, there was another one. He was like 15. And,
Martin Galvan.
There you go.
Oh yeah, where he debuted like at 14 or 15.
He was, from what I understood, he was banging somebody he wasn't supposed to be banging, and he kept going back to the well.
What's this
one? I'm guessing it was like either some coach's wife or somebody in the organization's better half. So there you go.
Landin's current team is the Brownsville Barracudas.
See, I told you he was close to Bofo. Are they indoor?
I don't know.
We might have clásicos in watching indoor U.S. soccer.
It is, dude. It's an amateur team. The men's indoor squad made its professional debut at the.
Man, did y'all know where Brownsville is? If you think of the map of Texas, right, and you think like at the very bottom, like the dick tip, that's Brownsville.
By Matamoros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brownsville, yeah. You familiar with that area, you, John?
Oh yeah, I used to go to the Valley. Oh, I love the Valley. The Valley to me is where Mexicans get it right. It's like one of the few places where.
Isn't that where what's his face crossed into Mexico on his way to Zihuatanejo?
No, that was in Fort Hancock.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, my dad's actually from Mission, Texas.
So is Tom Landry.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, this is how pathetic athletics is in the Valley. Tom Landry, who was played maybe in the either late 20s or 30s, still holds some of the Valley track records, like in the 100-meter dash and stuff like that. Well, I mean, one that shows what a great athlete he was, but two shows just how the Valley just does not produce too many star athletes. But no, the Valley is really interesting. The Valley is there are a lot of people from the north spend their winters. They call them winter Texans or snowbirds.
Yeah.
Because it's in the 70s to 80s, pretty much the entire winter. So a lot of people from Michigan and Minnesota go down there. I mean, like I said, I love the Valley. I'm very comfortable in the Valley because
Yeah, same.
It's completely bilingual. It's such a. I mean, you could have a conversation with someone where every other word is English and Spanish, and they both totally get it. And they have a great phrase that's like, yeah, it's cool. They go, está bueno, está
Yeah.
bueno.
You have like one of the things that about the valley, you have rather than saying written estacionamiento, you say parcadero.
Right. And
You know what?
the politics are hilarious in the valley.
When I was in Costa Rica, they didn't use estacionamiento. I think they actually wrote like something like parquear, dude. Yeah, dude. Look.
But even going into Mexico, like from Brownsville or Reynosa, they what do they call the junkyards? El Jonque.
Los Junkies.
That's some ghetto stuff, man. What are you gonna do?
With a Y, though. You have to spell it with a Y.
Yeah, Los Junkies. No, but when you go to McAllen, I'm sorry, when you go to Reynosa, the tourist attraction in Reynosa is McAllen. That's what they say.
The mall.
No, the tourist attraction in Reynosa is to go to McAllen.
Yeah, the mall in McAllen.
Yeah.
What is there to see?
No, I'm just saying. It's just look for some reason. I mean, and my grandfolks, they passed away, but they used to swear, and I've heard my uncles tell me that back in the day, Reynosa used to be a very beautiful city, a very beautiful town, small town. And like honestly, I don't see it. I think it's a shithole. I mean, Reynosa is just to me. Yeah, Reynosa. I mean, to me, is dirty. I mean, it's just nasty. Don't get me wrong. I love the food. I mean, there's right by the Ford dealership. There's a Calle del Taco. I don't know the official name. I just know it's Calle del Taco. And that's where it just has nothing but taquerias after taquerias. But other than that, I mean, that's all Reynosa was good, for me at least, and going to the bars. But they used to tell me that Reynosa used to be a very, very nice town until all the Oaxaqueños, with the braceros, and then when they just started coming and they just started messing shit up.
Oh man, was it lack of Neanderthal?
I don't know, too, but I don't know. I can't picture it. I just can't picture it. They tell me it was nice at one point, but I can't see it.
Let's make Reynosa great again.
Yeah.
When I go to the valley, Reynosa was awful, and Matamoros was terrible. When I crossed, because I did cross, because I would, buy my wife like talavera and stuff like that. I would go to a town called Progreso.
Yeah.
And then Nuevo Progreso, man, it was so easy to cross. And I mean, it was a snap. You didn't have to worry about. I mean, I could park on one side, walk across. The shop's right there on the main drag, and I would get my wife, really nice, proper talavera plates for, where it would cost me like $50, $60 in the States for $10. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Before, sorry to interrupt, but before 9/11, crossing the border was just so easy.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it was just, awesome. Both sides, going, either way. Right. It just seemed like it was awesome. I mean, I used to make that trip a lot.
And then now you have to take your stupid passport, which is such a joke.
Yeah.
It was even after 9/11. It wasn't too long ago where they implemented the passport thing.
Yeah, but it just got crazy. I mean, after 9/11 going to Reynosa, so I mean, I kind of stopped.
I crossed.
Boys Town closed too, so I'm sure that has something to do with it.
I didn't want to mention that. That's what I didn't want to mention Boys Town.
Is that like is that the Texas version of West Hollywood?
Yeah, there used to be ads in the paper in Austin. It's like, weekend trip to Boys Town. Bus leaves at Saturdays at 4. God, it's just harsh.
Yeah.
What did you say? What the California version of it was?
Of West Hollywood.
No, Boys Town is like the Chicken Ranch, or like what's the place out in Nevada? The Bunny Ranch. That's what.
The Bunny Ranch. Yeah, Boys Town was basically kind of like a little small neighborhood of sorts.
Okay.
And you just basically go in there, and there was different type of establishments. They had a place where you're kind of like a strip joint, typical strip joint, and then you had ones that are just kind of like more where you go in there less, you drink less copitas and you just talk to the companion. And then you had the more rough stuff.
I'm
But
following.
Reminds me of a terrible joke. Can I tell a terrible joke real quick?
yeah, go for it.
So there was a dude who was just terribly horny, but he was very hard up, but he didn't have any money on him. So he goes to Boys Town and says, well, this is all I have. What do you have for me? He had $2. He says, well, we'll put you in this room. And they put him in this room, and then he opens the door, and a sheep comes in. He's like, I got to do what I got to do. And so, he does it and comes back next week. And somebody only has $1. So what are you going to do for me? He says, well, we're not going to put you in that room. We'll put you in this room. And he walks into that room, and there's a room full of a bunch of other dudes, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like a two-way mirror. And he sees another guy in a room, and then they bring in a cow. And the guy starts banging the cow. It's like, man, that's really kind of awful. He goes, yeah, you should have seen it last week when the guy was banging a sheep. All right, old joke.
All right, so moving things along. I know, Beto, you want to talk about Chicharito and how he's tearing it up at Leverkusen. What has he got? 18 goals now.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive. But I think I've sort of mentioned it before. But it really sort of came to me this last time when I actually looked it up on the internet. That the team they played, where he scored 1 goal and got an assist, I think it was or something. It's actually 4th division. Like all these teams going on are, and everyone's going about him on Twitter and social media stuff. But I sort of lessened my view of him after seeing that these teams are. I've never heard of them before. I find 4th division team.
Yeah, but that's a cup game now. I mean, he's not playing 4th division teams every week. I mean, he scored a hat trick against a pretty decent team.
Yeah, I agree with John because I mean honestly, when you're on a roll, it doesn't matter, dude. You're on a roll.
Well, I think because he's getting playing time, the role would be inevitable. I just wonder if he was playing 90 minutes consistently for Man U, what would happen?
You know what? Those are his slum busters. Those are the gordi guapas. I mean,
I think it's fair to say that, like, yeah, it may not count as, or it doesn't hold the same significance scoring against a 4th division team, but I mean, he did score the hat trick for the first time, and the goals were really, really, really high quality. I thought the first one he showed an amazing, really good technique, and a decent finish. The last goal was a little bit more typical of what we're used to seeing him finishing the play, but I think it's all well deserved. I know he's winning the popularity contest, or he's won the popularity contest in Germany over arguably some better players. But I mean, good for him, and good for his fans that are voting.
Well, keep in mind, also, Chiquis, that when you're playing the cup. And you're playing the lower divisions teams, they're going to go in there and bunker. And, I mean, honestly, if Chicharito can, if he's going to, face that type of, that opposition where, where they're defending him and stuff like that, and he's able to break the bunker, and if that is able to help Mexico, if help him, because he's going to see that. He's going to see those type of, the teams bunkering in the World Cup qualifiers. I just, I'd like to have, Chicharito informed. I'd rather have him informed than not have him informed.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It plays out perfectly. And I will say that during his hat trick, there was just a golazo that he scored.
Yeah, the second one?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, where he just, basically his back is towards the goal, and then he just, turns and
one-touched
boom.
it.
Yeah. That was a beautiful goal.
Even the one where it was a good pass to him in the box, and he sort of like zigzagged it through a defender and scored it.
Yeah, really high quality goal that wasn't just him showing good positioning and a decent finish. It was, I mean, really, really high quality goal that it'd be impressive coming from anybody.
Well, that one, the second one, and the first one were top notch because I mean, the first one he basically, had to think fast on his feet. Took, he basically juked a defender and then basically kind of just tapped it, the way Romario used to do it, with with the three fingers.
Toe poke.
The toe poke. I mean, he did very well. The first two goals were awesome. The last goal, typical Chicharito. He just knew how to find the space and and post it. So I thought that was awesome.
I think, for him, he's got a couple things going for him. First of all, he's extremely professional, so he's going to show up and train, and he's going to take care of his body.
Yeah.
He's not the party guy. I mean, he may be, but at least not publicly. And he so wants to he's so competitive and he wants to get better. And I think that he's, if there's anybody that's going to be, I'm not sure. I think athletes should ever be role models for kids and stuff. They should be role models for other athletes. And I think that any up and coming striker from any nation would go, man, that guy busts his ass and he does a great job. And now you're starting to see the fruits of his labor. And I wouldn't surprise me at all if this is a one and done for Chicharito and he goes to AC Milan or like a Valencia or something like that next year. I mean, I think that he's outgrowing Leverkusen at a very rapid rate. There's no question. And I'm glad that they're going to play in the Europa League, because if they would have gone to the Champions League, it would have been one and done. So at least in the Europa League, at least he's going to get a chance to maybe possibly maybe go 2-3 rounds into the knockouts. But if it would have been the Champions League, they would have gone up against pick anybody, and they would have just slaughtered him. So I think that this is going to work out better for him and his career. But I truly believe that they're gonna make some money on him. There's no question.
Do you think staying in the Europa League hurts their chances of getting fourth again? Because right now I think they're sitting in sixth, so I think it shore up their defense a little bit.
They're in the Europa League because they came in third in the Champions League, so that automatically qualifies them for
I know. I'm just wondering if the continued congestion of like a fixtures of playing basically twice a week is it going to impede their?
Don't forget that the Bundesliga, they're getting ready to go on Christmas break, so he's going to get 6 weeks off right now.
I didn't realize it was 6 weeks long.
Before we progress, what surprised me in the game against Barcelona? I never seen Chicharo tell off one of his teammates.
Oh yeah, that was intense. And didn't he get an assist from that guy later on, like during his hat trick?
He had to check him. I mean, have any of you guys seen Chicharo check one of his teammates?
No.
I think that's more leadership skills now that he's showing.
Yeah.
Didn't they
taking more initiative?
Yeah, I think on some level it's saying that it's his team.
Yeah. Now, moving away from Chicharito, what do you guys think of the whole Jonathan Dos Santos being outed as a gay?
As a gay?
Yeah, as a gay.
It's just like what he tweeted.
Did they say who his life partner is?
Yeah.
He tweeted, man. He said it up straight. It's just the journalist looking for a story.
And then he said that if he said he went a very Seinfeld-esque route where he said that, not that there's anything wrong with it. If I was, I would gladly admit it. But I'm not. This is just bad journalism. I think I'm paraphrasing, but I think that's generally what he responded with.
Well,
he should have said, "Hey, I'm not gay. He was sucking my dick."
No, hey, on the chat room, on the chat, I posted a stat. It says here, "Did you know that 1 out of 3 people are gay?" And then one guy said, "Look at it. It's a stat." So I mean, it's something.
It's science.
It's a meme.
You know what? I mean, honestly, his own personal life is his own personal life. I don't think it's going to affect anything he does on the field. If that's what he wants to do, if that's who he is, if he is gay, then maybe why hide it? Be gay. It's fine. I don't care. Do what you want.
No,
Has,
but
It's not
what?
gonna
has he
affect the
ever
way I feel
been?
about him
Has
one
there
way or
ever
the
been
other.
pictures of him with a girl? Like you would see
Well, don't forget that he
Giovanni
was one
with.
of the ones that was implicated in the whole whorehouse down in Quito when they had the call girls.
Yeah.
That was when I remember. I'll never forget the hotel general manager said, the safety and privacy of the guests in this hotel is paramount. Our reputation, our reputation is trying to ask them. So where did you guys find the used condoms? Oh, those were in Jonathan Dos Santos' room.
That was Fabian being a bad influence.
No, but hey,
Didn't they get caught because they stole from them, so they were complaining?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think the girls they stole from their rooms, and then
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
they
right. I
went
did
to
remember.
complain, and then they.
Well, have you seen
Yeah,
JDS?
they stole their iPads, and the idiots went and complained about it.
Well, have you seen his Instagram, Jonathan?
No.
He's him and Giovanni are pretty spiffy dressers and stuff,
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I remember, when I speculated that there was some boy on boy stuff going on in the locker room in Mexico.
Did you say it was Bella though?
Yeah, I did say it was Vela though. I did. Okay, I was wrong though. I was wrong.
He's like, but I know I smelled some gay on someone.
I know. I
in Monterrey.
Yeah. Yeah, I smell it. I know it.
You know what that smell is? Is that what you're saying?
The must is in the air. The must.
It's funny. When I was in college, my roommate was gay, and there were so many times when I would walk in the room and he goes, "Thank God you weren't here 10 minutes ago." I was like, "No, believe me, you're absolutely right. You don't have to tell me twice."
Well,
he had an affair with the local weatherman.
Well,
scandalous.
And apparently, David Notas was saying that he also had, or was it that he also had an affair in Barcelona, which had me thinking, maybe it is true. Maybe it could be true because he did stay in Barcelona for a long time, and I always wondered why. It's not like he was getting any playing time, but maybe he was getting playing time.
But again, if he is, honestly, how many there has to, just playing the percentages. There has to be a handful of guys or more so that are then just
1 out of 3. 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
I don't think
there are 5 guys on this call.
Stat right there, dude.
What's that?
I don't think that's a correct stat. I think it's more like 1 in 10. I think 1 in 3 seems awfully high.
Well, I just think it's a good stat, though.
Well, you're one of the few single ones here.
What I have found in my life is the people that are the most homophobic are usually the ones that are hiding it the deepest down, their true self.
That trip over one on occasion.
Yeah. like the dad in what was that movie? Was it American Beauty?
With the SpaceX?
No, Chris Cooper.
No, I didn't see that one.
You didn't see American Beauty? It's about a guy having a midlife crisis and his.
Is the girl from American Pie? What's her name?
Yeah, Mina Savari.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's a long time ago. I saw it a long time ago.
And the Kevin Spacey is having this, and his neighbor's son is like the local pot dealer. So he goes over and gets pot, and there's like a great like a Three's Company scene where his ex-military dad is just incredibly anti-homophobic and a couple lines, and he sees his son what he thinks is giving Kevin Spacey, he's performing on him, and he freaks out, and then he ends up going over to Kevin Spacey's, and he comes on to him because he's gay, and Kevin Spacey kind of backs off, and well, I'll let y'all see the movie if you want to see it. But seriously, it's been my history. The people that are most homophobic like that are usually the ones that are they can't deal with their true selves, which is
Now,
kind of sad.
now, what do you think about Nahuel Guzman and Israel Jimenez?
What did I think about it? I thought it was
Yeah.
sweet. It was just
You,
a charming moment.
what about you, Joao?
Two
What did you
consenting
think?
adults
Like,
celebrating
think of what?
victory.
Do you guys think that Jimenez was overcompensating afterwards and was like really trying to like bro it up super hard, like with the fist pumping and like looking at the crowd? I was just kind of like maybe overanalyzing it. I was like, I don't know if that was like by accident, man, like that little moment, but like it looks like he's really trying to play it off now. Like, no, man, I wasn't trying to kiss. I'm a man, and he was just like pumping his arms a little even more. I don't know if anybody else caught that, or I was just looking for it.
But then somebody tweet a picture of him naked in the locker room too?
That was me. No, I'm kidding.
Is that before or after?
Well, that picture was in the locker room, and where they were holding the trophy. And yeah, there was someone in the
Is
background.
that what he was holding? Secretos de la montaña.
See, yeah, you saw that the meme. Hay secretos en la silla de la montaña.
Well, that was the Spanish translation of Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That's what they called it.
Say that again.
That was my buddy Jesus, who does the Longhorns with me, said that the Spanish version of Brokeback Mountain was Secretos en la Montaña. That was the name of the movie.
Hey, Noel is Argentine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
And they are
He's
a little more
he's
kissy.
a great goalkeeper. What a great goalkeeper.
Yeah, they're more affectionate as in society, I think, aren't they?
As a people.
As a people.
And the whole JDS thing, I mean, he has been living in Spain, and they definitely do that, like, when anybody comes on and off the field, it seems like.
Yeah, it's like they do the kiss on the cheek. It's not like a kiss in the air. It's a kiss. Let me turn my head and kiss your cheek and stuff.
But, I don't know. I really, obviously I don't have an issue with it, but it is funny to see, I guess, people get rustled over it.
I was looking at the video and I didn't even see any like real. I mean, they got close. I must have not seen it real well or a bad angle.
Are you talking about Noel and Jimenez?
Yeah, I didn't really see any contact. I just saw like a really close.
Cheek is close to size during that.
Had a ruler and stuff.
Well, there was definitely a pucker and there was definitely some contact. I couldn't tell if it was on the lips or where it was.
Well, he said something to him. Noel said something to him before taking the penalty kick, like, and he made this. And he did it. He made it.
Yeah. Well, who is it that kiss each other when they come off the field when they're being subbed?
Neymar in Barcelona.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
The Dos Santos brothers seem to do it also. I've seen them. Yeah, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Hey, well, changing subjects. Too bad Fernando's not here because he covered the U.S. China game, the women's, and
how did he do?
He did well. He did well. He tweeted. He was tweeting, live tweeting. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna lie. I don't watch a lot of women's soccer. Although, the fact that with my my older brother's kids, she's 5 now, so obviously she's starting to kick the soccer ball a lot. I mean, I think it's just going to be naturally that I'm going to start having to.
Personally, I think it's great that the U.S. women are good at soccer, but if they weren't good at soccer, no one would give 2 shits about soccer.
Well, my thing, like I said, I'm not an expert, in women's soccer and stuff like that, because it's not something I really, I grew up around. I didn't have any sisters or anything like that, and none of my female cousins played it, not that I recall. I think that the U.S. women's program benefits a lot from the Title IX, and I think they're at a huge advantage over the rest of the world. because I don't know. It's just it just seems like if there's one country that where soccer should be able to survive, and women's soccer should be in the U.S. But it just seems like like every league, it seems like every women's soccer, is folding every other like 5 years or so.
But I think it's popular in the sense where there's going to be a lot of participants. I'm not sure if there's going to be a whole lot of spectatorship.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
I mean, we're talking about it's funny that you mentioned the popularity of the sport and the World Cup. I distinctly remember nothing being mentioned up until they started. I think they reached the semis where it's like, oh, hey, they might win it again, so let's just all jump on board and let's all do the patriotic thing and support the girls. But then it fades away back into obscurity.
Yeah, one of the things I was asking Fernando, that I wanted him to ask, was they canceled the previous game. They were in Hawaii, and they were complaining about the field conditions and stuff like that. And obviously, they didn't like the field conditions in Canada because of the turf and stuff. Which I honestly, I mean, there's youth teams, kids, they've played youth tournaments in turf, So I didn't understand why they were making it into a gender issue, and I didn't understand why, because I mean, like I said, in 2005 in the tournament, the under-17 in Peru, I think every stadium, or maybe I think every stadium had had turf. It didn't have natural grass. And well, obviously they canceled the game in Hawaii because of the turf.
But it wasn't just the turf; it was just the fact that the seams were coming apart. I mean, it was
right. I mean, I understand that was that's dangerous and stuff like that, but I mean, I was just wondering if one of the things that I wanted to Fernando to ask was if what all the guys are doing, MLS guys, if they're also lending a voice to their fight.
Did Fernando get any questions in, or I mean?
He did get some questions in.
Awesome.
I wonder, did you guys see what Abby Wambach said recently? She got interviewed or on a podcast or something.
No, what she said?
She said some interesting stuff. I think about that Carly Lloyd. She said Carly Lloyd wouldn't be anything without her, and then she started talking about Jurgen, that she would she would have him fired, that he's made promises that he hasn't kept, and things like that.
Honestly, why say that when you're retired? I mean, she should have said that when she still had something to lose.
Yeah, it's just going out stirring the pot, but
I mean, it is. I mean, honestly, I mean, if you're gonna say that, when you have something to lose, when you're still, part of the team and stuff like that, why say it when you're already, retired? That to me just, I mean, she may be right. I'm not saying she's wrong, but I'm just saying that, I think that she should have said it when it mattered.
Well, the thing that I find funny is that they're complaining about playing on these turf fields, but I mean, I guarantee you that any girl who played soccer and went through junior high school, college, 90% of the fields they played on were turf.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's anybody that's used to playing on turf, it's girls that play soccer in this country. I mean, because just about every high school, at least now, every high school in America has a turf field.
Well, I mean, even Liga MX has a turf. What is it, the Xolos?
Yeah. And there's another place that has it too.
So, I mean, I don't see the big deal.
And then the poor people out in Eastern Europe, like in Russia and Ukraine, I mean, they have to have it because.
Yeah, because of the climate.
Yeah.
So. So no, but Fernando said he enjoyed it. He enjoyed the game. Well, he enjoyed, being there.
So, guys, unless there's anything else, maybe we should start shutting things down for the night.
Yep. Yes.
Alrighty.
But like John said, we're just a few weeks away, so from it starting all over again.
All right, so who's gonna take the title next season?
Man, that's the great thing about Liga MX. I mean, seriously, there's one or two teams that won't win, or like I don't think Dorados has a chance. And sadly, that's just about it. I mean, everyone else has a chance. I mean, it's just the parity of the league. It's how it is.
Okay, all right, Dan, who do you want to see relegated?
Chivas.
John?
Who do I want to see relegated? I want to see Monarcas relegated because, I mean, if TVS Seca is going to have two teams, then treat two teams the same. So give, everything to one team. And
Well, the 5 years hasn't expired, though.
I don't care.
Okay, all right. I'm just wondering. Okay. All right, Beto, who do you want to see relegated?
Not Chivas. Dorados.
Okay. So, no, who is it? Beto, is it Dorados or
Dorados.
okay.
Not Chivas.
Joel, who do you want to see relegated?
Veracruz. They bought. Remember when they bought their way back to first?
Yeah.
They even had two teams, one in second division and.
I want to see Chivas, just because, like I said, dude, and I know you know this. I hate when Mexico copies like Argentina songs and stuff like that. But I really want Mexico, America's fans to start singing that, Chivas, decime que se siente haber jugado en la B. Te juro que aunque pasen los años. Have you guys heard that song?
Yeah, that's what the Boca fans were singing to River.
Yeah, and it's funny because they were making a big deal about that chant in the World Cup, and I'm thinking, they're saying Brasil, decime que se siente, but it was actually, I mean, I was hearing that when it was with Boca, Chiquis, can you play a clip? Can you play that clip of Boca fans singing that to River? If I send you a clip.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me look it up on the YouTube here.
Let me listen.
And I'll tell you which one, because there's this one that's really good. I just want to. I actually really want to sing that. I'll go to the stadium and sing that one.
Well, I mean, if Chivas descend, there's no guarantee that they'll ever be back in the Liga MX.
No, if Chivas descends, if
to get relegated.
Okay. It says inolvidable fiesta de Boca. River, decime que se siente. Did you see it?
I'm looking it up.
Okay, if you go to YouTube, just put Boca River, and then it says decime que se siente.
John, do you think they would struggle to get back in? I mean, come back up? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Años. Lugar.
Yeah, but you're not going to get a chance to sing it because Chivas is not going to go down.
I don't want this.
Because the mighty Judas is going to take him to a quarterfinal finish in the Liga MX.
Honestly, if Chivas goes down, I don't think they'll ever come back up.
Nope.
I really think so. They'll never.
Like
the Necaxa. Well, not even that, because Necaxa could go after foreign players.
You know what's going to happen is that Chivas the team will get bought and they'll get rebranded as Zacatepec.
Yeah.
Or Unión de Curtidores. Or what was that team in Guadalajara? Was it Oro?
Yeah, Oro.
It'll be Oro. It'll come back as Oro.
So, hey, Joel, if Chivas gets relegated, would you still support them?
No sirven para nada.
I think
He's crying.
his phone's blowing up.
You gonna cry, boy?
Well, I think what's happening to Joel is like, you know, that scene in A Clockwork Orange when
You
the
gonna
old
cry,
man at the
boy?
end realizes that it's the guy that, you know, that beat him up, you know, that it's Malcolm McDowell, and he's just sitting there shaking, and and the camera's really tight around his face. It's like his lips are really pursed and his head is shaking and he's having a freak out. That's what's happening to Joel right now.
Yeah, I know. He's like, you gonna cry, boy? Huh? How about you? How about you want some hamburger and some French fries?
John, is that your favorite movie?
Which one?
Clockwork Orange.
It's not. Well, it's certainly one of my favorites. It's not my absolute favorite, but I mean, there's just so many iconic scenes in it. I mean, if you watch old Simpsons episodes, they have so many allusions to Clockwork Orange. It's incredible. Just some great a lot of great imagery in that movie.
Yeah, that's twice that you've made a reference to it on the show.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, I did watch it a lot when I was in high school. I'm not gonna lie.
Good stuff. Alrighty,
Two
guys.
of the movies that I tend to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Two of the movies that I watch a lot. Like every time it's on TV, I always stop what I'm doing. I watch. My Cousin Vinny and Snatch. I just throw that out there.
The Germans.
It's the Germans.
These two youth.
The Utes, yes.
That's Ralph Macchio's third best movie.
His best one is Beer League.
No, man, The Crossroads, dude.
I remember that one. I remember that. He played the guitar.
That's my personal favorite, but obviously.
Well, you guys can't forget The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Was he really that? He was. Well, no, he had a major role.
That cast. I mean, they had Patrick Swayze. They had.
It was the coolest cast.
They had Charlie Sheen, Tom Cruise,
Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon.
Patrick Swayze.
C. Thomas Howell.
C. Thomas Howell. Kelly. What's her name? Preston. What's his name? John Travolta's wife. Yeah.
Rob Lowe.
Are you crying?
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
Are you crying, Joe?
Did you get the foam out of your mouth so you could talk again?
Man, you sound like a redneck. You sound like a redneck when you're saying boy. You crying, boy?
You crying? That's a reference to Joe Dirt.
Oh.
You know, with what's it? Not Kid Rock? Yeah, Kid Rock. Yeah, that's right. You crying, boy?
I like Shakes the Clown.
Uh-huh.
All right, homies.
All right, guys.
Alrighty, well, I guess that's wrapping up episode, was it 15? Jolie, Joel, however you want to be called, Beto, John, Ronnie, and myself, we are Los Cachirules. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Cheers.